Most men rush. They think foreplay starts when they get physical, but that's the biggest mistake. Real foreplay, the kind that makes her crave you, think about you when you're not around, starts long before that. It starts with the energy you bring. It's the way you look at her without saying a word. The way you listen when she talks, not because you're waiting to respond, but because you actually care. That's foreplay. It's in how you make her feel safe, seen, and understood. That's what builds the kind of tension she aches for. Women crave connection before desire. They crave a man who makes them feel soft, not because he demands it, but because his presence allows it. A man who doesn't need to prove he's powerful, because his calm confidence already shows it. The trick: slow down. Stop performing. Stop chasing the end goal. Be present. Look into her eyes and stay there. Speak with intention. Touch her with meaning. Let silence do the talking. Sometimes that quiet moment where both of you just feel the energy moving between you. Foreplay isn't an act, it's an atmosphere, it's everything you do before your hands ever touch her skin. The teasing glance across the room, the way your tone drops when you say her name, the way you guide her with your energy, not control, not dominance, but grounded certainty. Because when a woman feels emotionally desired, her body naturally follows. When she feels that she's with a man who can lead with both strength and patience, she surrenders, not because she's weak, but because she finally feels safe enough to let go. So the one foreplay trick, it's presence, it's awareness. It's the art of slowing down and letting her feel that you see her not as an object, not as a prize, but as a woman who deserves depth, care, and real connection. That's what women secretly crave. Not the performance, not the rush. The feeling of being deeply, truly wanted. Let me tell you something. Most people think attraction is about what you do, but it's not. It's about what you make someone feel. You can memorize every technique in the world, but if she doesn't feel emotionally connected to you, none of it matters. Emotional connection is the foundation. It's what makes a woman truly crave your presence. Not because of what you can give her physically, but because of how you make her feel inside. When a woman feels seen, she softens. When she feels understood, she opens up. And when she feels emotionally safe, she begins to trust you in ways that words can't describe. That's the real foreplay. It's not something you can fake, and it's not something that happens by accident. It's a result of your energy, your patience, your awareness, your ability to be fully there without trying to control the outcome. Women can feel energy. They can feel when you're rushing, when you're distracted, or when you're only focused on what you want. They can also feel when your presence is genuine, when you're there not to take, but to connect. That's when she starts to crave you on a deeper level, because it's rare. It's rare to meet someone who doesn't just look at you, but sees you. You have to understand something. Women are emotional creatures, and that's not a weakness. It's their power. They connect through emotion, through energy, through the unspoken moments. And when you're able to meet her there in that emotional space, everything else follows naturally. You don't have to force it. You don't have to rush. You simply allow it to unfold. Emotional connection is built through presence. When you're with her, be with her. Put away the distractions. Stop thinking about what's next or what you should say. Just listen. Look into her eyes when she speaks. Pay attention to the small details. Her tone, her body language, the way her energy shifts. That's how you learn her. That's how you show her she matters. It's also built through patience. You can't rush trust. You can't demand vulnerability. You create the space for it. And when she realizes that she doesn't need to guard herself around you, that she can simply be, she will give you parts of her that no one else has seen. That's what real intimacy is. Emotional connection doesn't happen when you're trying to impress. It happens when you're being authentic. Stop trying to say the right thing. Stop trying to be someone you're not. Just be real. Be honest. Because a woman can sense the difference between someone performing for her attention and someone who's truly interested in who she is. You see, emotional connection isn't built through words alone. It's in the pauses between sentences, in the way your energy makes her feel. When you're grounded, calm, and centered, you create an environment where she can relax, where she doesn't have to overthink or defend herself. That's when she begins to lean in. And once that connection is there, everything else becomes effortless. Physical intimacy becomes more powerful, conversations become deeper, and the bond becomes unbreakable. Because when a woman feels emotionally connected, she doesn't just give you her body, she gives you her trust, her softness, her heart. But here's the truth, you can't fake emotional depth. You can't pretend to care and expect her to believe it. Women have intuition that picks up on the smallest signals, tone, eye contact, body language, even your silence. If you're not genuine, she'll feel it immediately. So if you want real connection, start with real intention. Make her feel heard. When she's talking, don't interrupt. Don't try to solve everything. Just listen and be there. Sometimes that's all she needs. Your undivided presence, the kind that makes her feel like she's the only person in the room. That's what builds emotional safety. Also, stop seeing emotional connection as a weakness. It's not. It's strength. It takes strength to open your heart. It takes strength to care deeply. It takes strength to let someone in without fear. That's what makes a man magnetic. Not his charm, not his words, but his emotional intelligence. Because here's the secret. Women don't fall for how much effort you put into impressing them. They fall for how peaceful they feel around you, how much they can trust your energy, how safe they feel in your silence, how seen they feel in your eyes. That's what stays with them. That's what they crave when you're not around. So stop thinking foreplay begins with your hands. It begins with your heart, with how you make her feel, with the emotional presence you bring into her world. That's the space where real desire is born. Not from pressure, not from performance, but from connection. Because when you understand that, everything changes. You stop chasing validation and instead you start building something real. You begin to understand that the most powerful attraction isn't physical, it's energetic. It's two souls aligning through understanding, trust, and presence. So remember this, the key to real connection is not how well you perform, it's how deeply you feel. And when you make her feel emotionally understood, that's when she'll crave you. Not just for a moment, but with every part of her being. Presence over performance, that's where the real magic lies. Most people are so focused on doing that, they forget how to be. They think attraction comes from effort, from showing off, from being impressive, but the truth is, presence speaks louder than performance ever could. Presence is energy, it's calm, it's confidence, it's the art of slowing down and letting everything around you feel your stillness. You don't need to do too much to be powerful. In fact, the more you try to impress, the more you push people away. Because real connection doesn't happen when you're performing, it happens when you're grounded, when you stop trying to prove something and simply exist as yourself. That's what draws people in. That's what makes someone trust your energy. Being present means you're not rushing through life. You're not thinking about what comes next while ignoring what's happening right now. You're here, fully. When you talk to someone, you're not planning your next sentence, you're listening. When you touch, you're not reaching for the end, you're feeling the moment. That's the kind of awareness that makes your energy magnetic. You see, presence is rare. Everyone is distracted. Everyone's mind is racing, scrolling, comparing, chasing. When you walk into a room with calm energy, people notice. They feel it before you even speak. That's the kind of energy that silences noise. It's powerful because it's peaceful. When it comes to intimacy, emotional or physical, presence is everything. It's not about how much you do. It's about how deeply you feel. It's in the way you breathe, the way you look at someone without needing to fill the silence. It's the way you take your time, unbothered, unhurried, because real connection can only exist in the now. When you're present, you stop performing, you stop overthinking how to act, what to say, how to appear. You realize that confidence isn't about perfection. It's about authenticity. It's about being comfortable with who you are. So you don't need to pretend to be anyone else. And that's what people, especially women, find irresistible. Because your presence makes them feel safe to be themselves too. It's not about saying the right words. It's about saying them with intention. It's not about touching the right way. It's about doing it with awareness. Presence turns every small action into something meaningful. A glance, a pause, a breath. Everything carries energy. That's what people remember. Not what you did, but how you made them feel. Presence is power because it creates space. It allows others to open up, to relax, to feel seen. When you're truly present, you're not trying to control the moment. You're allowing it to unfold naturally. And that's when magic happens. That's when connection deepens, when emotions surface, when energy flows freely between two people. Most people are uncomfortable with stillness. They fill silence with noise. They rush through moments that are meant to be felt. But when you're present, you're not afraid of quiet. You're not afraid to look someone in the eyes and simply exist there. That's real confidence, being comfortable in the moment without needing to escape it. Presence also means awareness, awareness of yourself, your emotions, your energy. You can't be present for someone else if you're disconnected from yourself. When you slow down, when you breathe, when you check in with how you're feeling, you align your energy, you become intentional. You begin to notice what matters, the tone of your voice, the rhythm of your words, the emotion behind them. That's why the best moments in life aren't the ones that are loud or dramatic. They're the ones that feel peaceful, timeless, effortless. Because presence turns ordinary moments into sacred ones. It transforms connection into something deeper, something you don't just see, but feel. So stop trying to perform. Stop trying to prove your worth through effort. You don't need to do more. You need to be more aware. Slow down. Let the world catch up to your calmness. Look around you. Feel the energy in the room. Listen, not just to words, but to what's behind them. That's where truth lives. That's where connection begins. When you live with presence, everything changes. Your relationships deepen, your confidence strengthens. You start attracting people who match your energy, people who value your calm, your depth, your peace. Because presence is magnetic. It doesn't chase, it draws, it doesn't shout, it whispers, and still everyone feels it. The moment you stop performing, you become real. And the moment you become real, you become powerful. Because people crave authenticity in a world full of masks. They crave someone who isn't pretending, someone who can make them feel grounded just by being around them. Presence over performance means you stop chasing validation. You stop trying to prove that you're enough, because you already are. It's about learning to trust your own energy, to know that your stillness holds more power than your effort ever could. And when you bring that kind of presence into any moment, whether in conversation, in love, or in silence, everything around you responds. The energy shifts. The atmosphere softens. People start to breathe differently because your energy speaks louder than your words ever could. That's what presence is. It's awareness. It's patience. It's depth. It's choosing to feel instead of perform. It's understanding that the most powerful thing you can do is simply be there, fully, completely, unapologetically yourself.